Hey guys, I just got done installing some baseboard heaters here in this apartment, and I thought I'd make a little video talking about a lot of apartments are actually going to baseboard heaters. I think they say it's about 80% of apartments are baseboard heating now. I wanted to talk about why they're actually going to baseboard heaters. So when you're looking at a income property or something that you're trying to invest in, when you want to, let's say the furnace goes bad, or you take a duplex and you split it into two and you want to separate the units, it's expensive to buy a furnace and then pay someone to actually put it in and do all the duct work. So another option is putting in baseboard heaters, and it's way cheaper. So I'll just talk about this first. Several years ago, I actually have a duplex, and I separated the meters for the electric, and then I wanted to do the same for the heat. So both the apartments was ran off of one furnace. So what happened is I got a bid on how much it would cost, and now I can't remember if this bid included two furnaces or one furnace, and then the downstairs apartment was going to keep the other furnace. But they quoted me at $10,000, so that's quite a bit. And what I ended up doing is just leaving the downstairs apartment on the furnace, and upstairs I ended up hooking up 3 baseboard heaters. And it ended up being like $300 instead of, let's say $5,000. So that's one of the big things. And when you're looking at apartments, like in an investment, it's really hard when you're buying them to try to get them to cash flow and get the equity out of them. Because a lot of times when you buy them, many people will have a loan, so the buildings aren't really cash flowing. So a lot of times it's really hard to put a $5,000 to $10,000 investment still into the apartment on top of all the other stuff that you're already doing. Another reason why a lot of people are going to the baseboard heating is because when it's a rental unit, depending on your town, you're going to have an inspection probably every 2 to 4 years. My town, it's every 4 years. So when they do the rental inspection, not only are you paying for the rental inspection, you're also paying for, if it's a heating source, you're going to have to have a licensed heating person come in and check out your furnace. And that costs a little bit of money too, on top of what the rental inspection is. A few years ago, I had a small 1-bedroom apartment the size of this one that had a furnace in the corner, and there was nothing wrong with it. It worked, heated fine, and I had to have it inspected. And when they came, they said they wanted to see the flue, be able to see it go out of the roof. So they pretty much wanted me to take the drywall down around it, and that was just kind of odd. So instead of doing all that and paying for it and keep on messing with it, I just decided to install 2 baseboard heaters in that apartment like it is done here. And now I don't have to have those other costs every time I have a rental inspection. And again, it was much cheaper than anything else I could have done at the time. These baseboard heaters do a pretty good job on heating. A few years ago, I put in a 120 baseboard heater, and immediately I had a tenant start complaining about it wasn't warming up enough, but I put a 240 in it, and that's what I've been using in everything else. And it heats up pretty good, and it actually warms up the apartment really good. I've been in a couple where I'm like roasted out of it, so these things will do pretty good. And right now I'm using these 2 for about 600 square feet for this apartment, and it usually roasts these. This one's an A-frame, a loft apartment upstairs, a bathroom and a kitchen, and it heats up this apartment pretty well. But when you're a landlord or anything like that, you're already having costs go up pretty much every year. Mostly property taxes. It seems like property taxes have been going up steadily, and then every few years there's like large jumps. For example, this fourplex that I'm in right now, about, 4 years ago, it went up $1,000 a year. And then ever since then, I think it was only a couple of dollars, per apartment every year. And then again this year, I think it went up like $300 or $400. So they keep on increasing. So you're hit with all these other costs. So then you're looking for ways to keep other costs down. How baseboard heaters work, it's always helpful to have a ceiling fan going. You keep circulation. And how it works is the air goes through, and these vents warm up the air. One of the negative things about it is that it feels like it takes up a wall. So it's kind of odd when you rent, and then you have to put your couch in front of it or your TV. Also, you might come in where maybe a tenant has stood on it and ripped it out of the wall. So you may encounter that. But other than that, baseboard heaters haven't been that big of a deal. For cost wise, I think they're actually pretty cheap on electric. For example, this fourplex, all of them have baseboard heating pretty much exactly like this. And they all have ACs, and a couple of the units have washer and dryers also in the thing. But this building, the cheapest apartment for budget billing through Alliant Energy is $79 or $76. And then the highest is like $129. And the highest ones, they do have a washer and dryer in there. And again, we also supply an AC, so they're also cooling the apartments in the winter. And that's what we have for average budget billing. So just give you an idea of that. I also lived in an apartment that I have across town. I just put baseboard heating in. It all comes down with anything, even with a regular furnace, on your heating and your energy bills on how much it is. For example, I lived in this 2-bedroom apartment alone by myself, and I had baseboard heating, and I kept my utilities down to around $60. After I moved out, I helped my brother out, younger brother, move in. He lived there for a while, and his average, I think, was like $150. So it was quite a bit different from him to me. So everyone has different stuff going on. But anyways, I thought I'd make a quick video about baseboard heaters, and hopefully this was helpful on why a lot of people are starting to consider baseboard heaters and why they're going that way. See you guys later.